welcoming to the stage our very special guest, Mayor Muriel Bowser. Mayor Bowser, welcome. You missed my complete mishap with my microphone going off, but I think I'm back in business now. Certainly appreciate you. Can everybody hear us okay?
Hello? Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So, Mayor Bowser, first I will say it has just been an absolute pleasure being able to work alongside you and all that you have done, for downtown and for the city, and especially just meeting the needs that we have in this moment. So I just want to thank you for your service and for your diligence to the city.
Thank you.
And I just want to start by saying welcome to our Downtown DC Forum. And I just want to give you an opportunity to say, what's on your mind right now with respect to all the things happening in downtown and what's keeping you up at night?
Oh, wow. Well, welcome and good morning, everybody. I don't even know if I could tell you everything that's on my mind or the things that keep me up at night. But I will say this, and you've heard me say this before. I remain very optimistic about the downtown, very bullish about the future of the District of Columbia. And I can say that because we have laid out a plan. We've delivered on the plan. We continue to have people come forward with ideas. We continue to attract partners and continue to make investments. And that's how any city, every city, grows and builds back. But it is important that we don't face our future or even our present with ideas that are business as usual. We have to think about how we are intentional about shifting our economy, continuing to make investments in those things that help us grow and get to the other side. And that's how I have my team focused.
I love that focus on growth economy and investment. Are you able to say a little bit more about just how does the city begin to make those kinds of investments? What does it look like, in terms of the decisions that need to be made to propel downtown and the city forward?
Well, I think we have to, and sometimes when we get tough headlines and everything seems like there's chaos around us, all of that can make us kind of stall or be paralyzed in how we're thinking. And I think each of us in our respective spaces needs to think about what we're going to do for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 12 months. What is our plan to get to next year? And I just look at the problem that we have to solve. For the district, if the CFO's estimates hold for the next 4 years, within the next 4 years, we have to replace the economic activity of 40,000 employed DC residents. So we know what those numbers are. We know who those people are. And we want them to stay in the district. We want them to get new jobs in the district. We want them to go to district universities, buy DC houses, put their kids in DC schools. But as a municipality, we have to replace the economic activity of 40,000 people. And we know the things that have helped the renaissance of the district, and those are investments in kids and families, schools, investments in public safety, clean and safe activities, and investments in making sure that we grow our city. So when you ask me how I will prioritize those things, we will look to our budget for 26, which we're excited about. We look forward to being able to give it to the council very soon. But in that budget, even though we're talking about, in some ways, having to deal with $1 billion less over 4 years or $300 million less, you will continue to see bold investments in how we grow.
Mayor Bowser, I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. We also know how important, as we think about downtown, the Gallery Place Chinatown community, it's a hub for culture, for nightlife, for entertainment, for sports, and for so much more. It's a little over a year ago that we reached a deal with Monumental Sports to keep our teams here in D.C. And to invest in a transformed Capital One Arena to anchor the neighborhood and drive growth for the surrounding area. I want to ask you, why was that investment so important? Why was it so important to support the Gallery Place Chinatown community? And why do you see sports and entertainment as such a potential bright spot for the city?
Well, we have to look at what sports and entertainment has done for the city. Even starting here at Gallery Place, how Abe Poland made a big bet, Gallery Place, and a huge personal investment. The district also made a lot of investment. We have to look at what Nats Park has done for the Capitol Riverfront area, where the district made a huge, some people forget this, let me remind you. The district made a $600 million investment.
That's right.
And what year was that? Like 2005, 2006? You know what that is in today's dollars? It's well over $1 billion.
Right.
But what has been the payoff? It's been amazing. We have a whole new neighborhood. Similarly, Audi Field at Buzzard Point, there was no housing, no retail, no sports, no people living there, no restaurants, and now we have all of that. And so the sports economy, sometimes it gets minimized to like fun and games, but it's dollars and cents. It attracts people who pay taxes, and it attracts other investment. So we know the story of this arena at Cap One and Chinatown and Gallery Place. And these are our teams. These are Washington sports teams, and everybody knows, I think Washington sports teams should play in Washington. Right. And not only that, they've been very successful here. Extremely successful. And so when we were going through these kind of discussions around the arena, it was very clear, and I should make clear that Ted Leonsis has been a wonderful neighbor. Monumental Sports is an important company in our city, in our region, and not just in sports and education and supporting local causes, including hospitals and our university. So they're a great partner, and we wanted them to stay. And we had the ability to invest with them, and that's what we did. And so now we own the arena. It's now our arena, and Monumental continues to invest in it, and we hope bring home some championships there. And it turns out we're on a run, right? And so
Looks
maybe
like
the Caps
happen.
will bring it home.
Love that. Mayor Bowser, thank you so much. Yes. So I do want to lean in. I know I prefaced earlier and said that we have some questions that might be a little bit like tough questions in a way. But, D.C., what's not tough or unique is that we've always had to deal with striking a balance between local affairs and the local city and then, the nation, federal side. How do you see that dynamic playing out right now as we're shifting in a national climate? And, where do you see the opportunities for partnership while also protecting our local priorities?
Well, I see, number one, any issues with the district's balance with the federal government, and I want to be clear about this, because this isn't, I think oftentimes it's cast as a political point or ideological point, but I think that we're seeing the business implications of not having statehood. And the only way that this interference is rectified is when the tax-paying citizens of Washington, D.C. are full Americans. And we only become full Americans with statehood.
I think that deserves a round of applause. Absolutely.
So the political and the Democratic, the small d Democratic problem is that we pay taxes, but we're not represented with a voting member of Congress or 2 senators. The business problem is we literally have a balanced budget, unlike our federal partners. We literally every year for 4 years balance our spending priorities with our revenues, and we calibrate it. Literally do that. We are literally balanced, yet we're talking about a summer of forced cuts while we have money sitting in the bank. So those are the business implications, and it affects everything. It affects how investors make decisions about the district. It affects our ability to continue the services that keep us clean and safe. So it affects everything. And so we know that we will continue to work on rectifying that in the Congress, but we will keep our eyes focused as well on what it means to be full American citizens with voting representation in the Congress, because that's going to be critically important. Having said that, we're special in another way. The flip side of that problem is that we are unique in the American system. We will always have a different relationship than any other city or state with the White House and with the Congress. I've done it for 10 years, so I've worked with 3 presidents in every iteration of leadership at the Congress, and each time we present ourselves in the same way. This is who we are, this is what we do, this is how you can help, and please stay out of our business. So that's usually how it goes. And there are various levels of cooperation and such. So we'll keep that going.
Well, Mayor Bowser, thank you so much. I think I speak on behalf of everybody when we say thank you for your 10 years of dedicated service. We are excited and trustful that, you will continue to carry things forward. So we appreciate the efforts that you're doing. I'd love to close on just one thought, as we're thinking about the state of downtown. And, this is a day where our report sort of looks back on 2024 and all that happened, and then kind of takes a hopeful look at 2025 and assessing the current environment. If you were to fast forward, 10 more years from now and, think about sort of what is the future that you want to see for DC, and specifically in this downtown corridor, what does that vision look like for you? What can we all leave on a hopeful note and see as our future?
Well, I think we all know over the work that we've done together over the last couple of years, we need a different balance of uses in the downtown. We can look at our own city at areas that have more residential or other uses other than office space. Who came out of the other side of the pandemic, growing and stronger or less affected. When you have almost 90% of your real estate is commercial, you have a remote work phenomenon to contend with, and now you have a shifting employment base. So all of those things are helping us get to what at the end of the day is going to be a more vibrant mix of uses. We set the goal of 15,000 new residents in the downtown. Nina came on and said, well, that's not enough. We need more. So we're trying to plan to get more people living downtown, and people want to live downtown. And so, but we can't just wish that into being. There's a lot of policy change that has to happen to make investment in housing in general across the district cool and profitable and easy, all of those things. And so we have set about changing, like we did the public safety ecosystem, where we had to change the law, we had to make new investments, and really we had to change the discussion. We had to change how people talked about and approached public safety. We're doing the same thing in the affordable housing market and in the market, all of market rate housing for the district. We have to reset the ecosystem. Things got upended during the pandemic that have made where when I came into office, I have a very strong commitment to building housing. We committed over $100 million every year for 10 years. We built and I think delivered early more than 36,000 new units in Washington, D.C. It helped us blunt rent increases in our rental market, which helps us attract families. So that's important. Building housing is important in the district, and building it downtown should be happening. So that's why we introduced the Rental Act. We introduced the Housing in Downtown program, which incentivizes conversions from underutilized office to housing. We introduced the office to anything, or like I say, office to everything, which is underutilized office to other more productive uses. So we've done those things to attract more investment. And we're really asking the council to urgently consider my proposals for TOPA. Which we understand is preventing a lot of housing dollars, housing investment from coming into the district because this TOPA, which was, lauded as a protection for tenants wanting to buy, which we support, but it's overbroad and it needs to be updated. And so the council has it. We want them to act on it because it unlocks so much investment, and it will also enhance the revenues coming into the district, which will allow us to invest in so many other things. So that's a long way of saying what I see in the downtown. I see more people living in the downtown, a more vibrant downtown. I see our vision with the federal government on how to not dump underutilized federal buildings, but have an orderly plan for those underutilized federal buildings, and some really cool uses, things that we may not even be thinking of right now. So DC is resilient. We have to shift our economy. We have to be committed to tough decisions that change the business environment here so people want to start their businesses here, grow their businesses here, open retail establishments, build housing, and help us convert underutilized space. That it hurts a little right now, but instead of having 90% of commercial, we're going to have a mix that promotes more vibrancy in the downtown. So we're excited about that. I always tell neighbors all over all 8 wards of the district and our policymakers, and they say, you talk about the downtown all the time. What about us? Well, we're investing in every corridor. We've had very successful, great streets. We have food access that has allowed us to open restaurants all over the city. We're heavily invested in clean and safe and programming dollars, as you know, and how we attract more events to every part of the city, which is also important for our economy. But the downtown and the value of our downtown for the last, I don't even know how many years, but a long time, has allowed us to have a world-class school system, has allowed us to have the type of human services that help us take care of the most vulnerable in the District of Columbia. Having a valuable and growing downtown has allowed us to invest in the #1 park system and library system in the United States of America. And that's why it's important that we do whatever it takes to make sure our downtown is thriving and growing.
Mayor Bowser, that was awesome. We said earlier, downtown DC is important, one of the most important neighborhoods, one of the most important cities in the world. Thank you for your leadership and all you've done. Give it up for Mayor Muriel Bowser.